Hey guys, Cameron here with Emerson Property Management. Every week I bring you tools, tactics, strategies, lessons I've learned, things that helped me build up a sizable real portfolio in about 2 years. Now manage that portfolio. Today, guys, I want to talk about, if you guys have been following for a while, I've done these videos every week for about 5, 6, 7 years. And only until recently have I missed any weeks. And the reason for that has been because we went through an acquisition. So we purchased a property management company. So today I want to talk through the learnings because we got to open up the books in this company and see everything they were doing. Look at their PMA. They managed about 120, had about 200 properties before they reached out to us. And then we ended up acquiring about 120 units from them. So we got to see everything. So I want to share with you guys some of the stuff that, you hear about what some other property management companies are doing. I network and rub elbows with a handful of property management company owners, but nothing like this. So I want to talk through that. Before I get into that, if you guys find this stuff valuable, please share it with somebody, like, subscribe. It really helps us out. So let's get into it. Here are the four things, the main four things. There's umpteen other things I can talk about on what I've learned through this acquisition, especially about our business. But let's just focus on what you as a property owner or somebody looking for management to hire a property management company. These are the things I think you're going to want to focus on, or things that I learned. So the monthly management fee, I can tell y'all right now that your monthly management fee is sometimes the smallest fee that you're going to pay. I think I have another video again up here or here that talked about over 30 different fees that some property management companies would charge their owners. This was another scenario like that. Once we opened up the books, they're like, oh yeah, we fee max, we've got, we're doing really well on our fees. And every time you turn around, it was, fee for, turning this on, fee for turning that on, fee for setting up with a Section 8, fee for, not doing this, not doing that. And it was like, the management fee looked appetizing, but that was just one aspect of it. That was just one aspect of it. So please, if you're an owner looking at this, I've mentioned this before, but look holistically at all the fees that you're getting charged. And they were doing certain things like getting kickbacks from other vendors without disclosing that to the owners, which is a big no-no. We do not take any kickbacks from our vendors. We take a vendor oversight fee on one of our packages, but they don't take me out to Cabo or out fishing or anything like that. That fee that we get is clearly disclosed, and they do not give us any kickbacks. They were marking those invoices up. The vendor it wasn't telling the owner, and then the vendor was kicking back money to the management company. So there's a lot going on there that in my opinion wasn't ethical. But again, as an owner and you have a property management company that you're working with or that you've hired, look holistically at all your fees, accounting fees, again, technology fees. I can go on and on. There's dozens of fees that these folks were charging. So make sure you're looking at that. And then I've heard this once before, and it does bear repeating. The most expensive thing that you can do is hire a cheap property manager. Remember that. Cost you a hell of a lot more than the management fee and other stuff that they'll screw up. And I've seen that firsthand. So the other one, money, i.e. you making money, does not equal a good property management company. So we had owners that came over that were like, hey dude, I was making a lot of money before. In a lot of these instances, they weren't, but I was making money before. What's going on? You guys come over and now you're sending people to the property every week. Well, I'm sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Owner, but the tenant doesn't have hot water. I'm sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Owner, the AC doesn't work. I'm sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Owner, the electrical, the sockets are literally catching on fire. We had all of those instances are true. We had tenants that were out of hot water for weeks. We have AC systems that are not properly wired. We had electrical systems and breaker boxes that were not properly installed, that didn't meet code or permits. We had hot water tanks that weren't installed properly. I mean, on and on and on. But you as the owner, man, my rent's coming in. Everything must be great. What a great job these folks are doing. They haven't spent any money this quarter or this month or for 3 months or 4 months or whatever. Then you get another management company in there, tenant submits a request. Oh my God, they don't have hot water. We dispatch somebody to get it taken care of. Now there's an invoice for that. And you go, oh my gosh, they're spending money left and right. So don't look at it like that. There can be problematic properties. And obviously, if you're dispatching somebody multiple times for the same issue, they're the problem. Don't worry about that. That is something that I think any management company, I shouldn't say that. Most management companies will get that taken care of. But don't think just because your money, you're making some cash flow, that the property management company is doing a good job. That has nothing to do with it. There can be expenses and maintenance and repairs that come up that they're ignoring that's going to cost you more money down the road. I've talked about this time and time again. There's a long feedback loop, a very long feedback loop in some scenarios in property management. They do something stupid today, like place a bad tenant. You might not get screwed by that for 6 or 8 months. I've told numerous stories about tens of thousands of dollars that owners have lost due to stupidity with placement tenants. Okay, number 3, and these are in no particular order, right? No money does not necessarily equal bad property. So this is kind of the inverse of the one I just mentioned. If you're not making money, and we just had this happen with several of the properties that came over, there were owners that were getting frustrated, like, Cameron, I'm not making any money. This property sucks ass. Well, actually, it's not the property. You have put in poor quality tenants, or your property manager, property management company has put in poor quality tenants. Those tenants are tearing shit up. They're not dispatching people to take care of this. And it's like this vicious spiral. So then you don't want to spend the money to fix certain things because you don't have the money because the tenants aren't paying. You go through an eviction and you don't have the money. I mean, and it just keeps going on and on. Well, I don't want to fix it. I don't want to do a full make ready. Well, I'm sorry. If you don't do the full make ready, you're going to get another shitty tenant. And that tenant is then going to tear up the property again. And it's just continues in this vicious spiral. So you've got to break through that comes with spending some money, taking a breath, looking at the whole entire situation. But really, not always is just because your property isn't making money, is it a bad property. It could be, I've seen great properties get managed poorly and just run right into the ground by poor management. I've seen really bad properties get lifted up by great management. So it's really, just because you're not making money on that property, don't look at that property as being bad. It might be. I'm not saying it's not. There's problems. There's so many problematic properties out there because there's a bunch of half-assed vendors that did stuff over the last 10 years and people got away with it because housing was in a short. So I'm not saying that. I'm just saying not always. Just because you're not making money on that property, don't immediately blame the property, because a bad property management company, and some good ones, we have blamed properties before as well, but not always is that the property's fault. Could be the management. Okay, the last one, and maybe the most important, is not all PMCs are not all equal. Okay, property management companies are not all equal. In this scenario, in this acquisition that we did, these individuals, the owners, were out to build up a portfolio and then sell it. That was their intention all along. And that's fine. There's no issues with that. But I am seeing that more and more and more. A lot of owners come into this business, or a lot of tech companies or people out of different places either in the industry come in from a tech company or from something else, consulting business, and now they want to be in property management. And they come in and they want to build this company up and then sell it off. Well, I can tell you it is very disruptive to an owner, and property management companies make different decisions if they're looking to sell the business. So if you're talking to a property management company and you don't have clear line of sight on what their gauge is, how long are they in this for? It's just like we talk about with making investments into a property. If you are planning to flip that property, you're making different decisions than if you're planning to rent it for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Right? You're going to do a little different finishes. Maybe you want to make it look pretty. Whereas, I'm going to tenant proof this. I'm going to do a little bit more things for durability. I'm not going to do it for the flash and the show of the sale. So it's the same way in management. There are certain systems and processes and things that take time. You can't make a baby in 1 month by getting 9 women pregnant. I've said that. I don't know how many times. I didn't come up with that. I don't remember who it was who said that, but some companies try to do all this stuff so quickly so that they can exit and sell and get their multiple and go away. And that's not always the best thing for the owner. You wake up one day and your management company is sold or bought. That I'm not saying that it's good, bad, indifferent. I'm just saying it's disruptive, can be super disruptive. Sometimes it's a good thing. I honestly, truly believe that all these owners that came over from this acquisition are in better hands. I believe that. And one of the people that own the company is a friend of a friend, but I will still say that right now. And actually, we've had conversations that he believes that to be true. So just be cognizant of that. Not all management companies are out there to do good work by the property owners. Not all management company owners own property. I thought that was crazy too. So here's four things. The main four things I think you as a property owner need to know. The management fee, be cognizant. It's not just the monthly management fee. Just because you're making money does not mean that property management company is good. Just because you're not making money doesn't mean it's a bad property. It could be poor management. Property management companies are not all created equal. Some are there to do good work. You like my vacuum back there? Some are there to do good work. Some are there to hurry up and make an exit and think they're going to get rich quick scheme, something like that. Just make sure you know who you're getting into bed with when you're partnering, because that's really what you are. You're partnering with your management company. They should be your advisor. They should be the expert. So I hope that was helpful. If it was, let me know. If it wasn't, let me know. I appreciate you guys tuning in every week, and it's glad to be back. Thanks, y'all.